Welcome back to Chow Time Pod. It's your host, Ren. I got a video today from Courtney Ryan. Women need to hear this brutal truth. Am I saying it right? Brutal? Yeah, there it is. And it comes differently when it comes from a woman than a man. When we say things brutally, we're misogynistic. But when a woman says it, oh, I needed to hear that. Again, I'm not a big fan of women in our space, women in this manosphere space, but it is very necessary. Why? Because it hits certain feelings for certain people when a woman says it. And it's actually important to try to hit the masses of many people as we can, especially women. So women talking to women is the best possible way. Please like and subscribe down below. I really appreciate that. And let's get to that chow. It's chow time.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Courtney Ryan, and today we are reacting to a TikTok. Definitely a bit of a different speed than I typically react to, but an important one to hear nonetheless. I know this girl is an acquired taste. I personally think that she is absolutely hilarious. I know not all of you will like her, but regardless, she is telling a brutal truth here.
Nothing to knock on Courtney or anything, but when you hear a woman say another woman, she's hilarious. You gotta take it with a grain of salt.
That I think women could really benefit from hearing. And even in the comment section of this video, it was like, thank you, I needed to hear this. Like sometimes we need...
I don't know how many women were probably saying thank you when they need to hear this or whatever. Women just don't like being wrong. They don't like being told what they're doing wrong.
Need tough love. Sometimes we need someone to be no BS, straight to the point, blunt, and to bring us back down to earth. And that's what she does here. So this is her response to someone writing into her. So let's give it a watch.
My boyfriend never buys me flowers because he thinks it's a waste of money because they die. Okay.
I have similar sentiment. Why waste money on something like $20, $30, maybe $50 that's gonna die within the next few days? Because really, are you gonna be looking at it and smelling it every day? No, it's literally just for that initial oh, and then you just throw it out the window or put in some vase somewhere until it dies.
It's a girl, her name starts with a B. But I think having flowers is so nice, and I don't want to buy them for myself because I think it's kind of cringe. He does buy me other things and he does a lot for me, so that's not really the issue, but I just think it's so romantic to be surprised with flowers every once in a while. Okay, he does everything else for you, but you're hinging on the flowers. What an ungrateful little bitch. Like, who cares, okay? So buy yourself flowers. You're telling me that he does other things for you?
Imagine me saying this now. What an ungrateful little bitch. I get canceled immediately.
What did you say? He does a lot for me, and he buys me other things. So you're gonna say the one thing he doesn't do you're gonna be so upset about? Bitch, you need to calm the fuck down, okay? Like, not everyone's perfect. You're probably lucky he's with you. He's gonna fucking leave your ass if you don't shut up. You're annoying. I told him this, but I don't want too much pressure. I told him this, but I don't want to pressure him too much. What do you think? I love you. I really value your opinion. Okay, and don't show my name. Okay. Yeah. You're dumb, okay, and you're stupid. It's not a big of a fucking deal. It's flowers, okay? He does other things for you, and you're lucky he's with you because you sound very annoying, okay? You sound like a very annoying girl. So he does a lot for you. He doesn't buy you flowers. Like, who cares?
How men think. I took care of everything for you. I take you out. I pay rent and stuff. What the fuck you need flowers for?
That is the definition of a brutal truth. But again, I think it's something that a lot of people need to hear. Now, I have a bit of a different approach. I will say things more gracefully, more respectfully. That's just how I do things, okay? But
I'm like a 50-50 guy. Sometimes I'll be nice. Sometimes I'll be a little bit mean. It depends on the mood I'm in. And depends on the sex and the situation. Most women, I'm pretty mean. Most men, I'm harsh.
that hits different. Let's be honest. The first thing I want to talk about is fixating on the negatives. I think we do this far too much. As a woman, I will even just be so honest and say we do this too much. He does everything else for you, but you're fixating on the one thing that he doesn't. Nobody is perfect. No one can possibly live up to the standards and expectations or the fairy tale that you create in your mind, okay? No one is perfect.
This is the other side of it is for men too. We expect women to do certain things for us, and because we want a good woman, but we don't actually tell them or communicate some of these things to them. Again, they're not mind readers, just like we aren't mind readers. If you want them to, do a little bit more cooking or cook a certain food for you, or, take care of a certain thing, and you're not telling them to do these things, they might not know. Like, communication, guys, back and forth.
If the one thing he doesn't do for you is get you flowers, I think you're doing okay. He does everything else for you, buys you other stuff, but doesn't get you flowers. I think you're gonna survive. I think you can do it, girlfriend. It's okay. When she said he's going to leave you if you don't shut up, you're annoying. But really, I kind of agree. I think we get very fixated on the negatives instead of focusing on the positives and the things that someone does do for us. And I think this is something that is missing in so many long-term relationships, and ultimately, I think leads to the relationship falling apart because we fail to acknowledge the things that we're actually doing for each other and the positives within the relationship because we get so fixated on what's not going well, what someone's not doing for us, and the negatives.
Hey, men are guilty of this too. I'm guilty of this. I do this all the time too. When a woman does something like, I'm just like, all right, I'm going to put that there. And then it just annoys me for a while that they do that particular thing, but they do other things great. It's just that one stupid thing that I'm like, like carrying with me. And it's like, is it really that bad? Because they do everything else well, like it's sometimes when we know, like the we know too much thing can be a problem. Sometimes we overthink things and we want things to happen a certain way, or we're expecting things to happen certain ways because we've seen so many scenarios. And when it doesn't happen that way, we're all confused.
Now, sometimes it is important to look at the negatives because they're a big enough deal to break up with someone, right? There are things that should not be happening in relationships. But someone not buying you flowers, I wouldn't consider that to be one of them. In the grand scheme of things, in the grand scheme of life, is it really that important that your boyfriend buys you flowers if he does a ton of other stuff for you?
100% agree. And it's like, does it matter if he opens the door for you? Like it is actually more convenient for you to open up your own door and him to go to his thing. Why? Because he has to walk around, open the door for you, or go to that door and then walk back around to his car. I'm just saying, like not saying that I don't open doors for women, but when you think about the opening the car door for a woman kind of thing, it's really, it saves both of us time and effort for you to just get out yourself. The same thing with the whole toilet seat thing, Why do men have to pull it up and put it back down? Why can't I just put it up, pee, and then when you come in, you put it down to sit? Oh, guess what? That's 50-50 work because I did one motion up and you did one motion down instead of me doing one motion up and down and you do nothing but just sit on your ass to go sit on the toilet.
And buys you other things. No, there are literally people dying. Okay, it's like the Kardashian episode when Kim loses her earring and she's like so upset and Kourtney's like, Kim, there are literally people dying. There are people dying. I think you'll be okay. But really, we need to stop fixating on crap that doesn't actually matter. The economy is rough these days.
It is.
Okay? And I also want to say this. If it's not the flowers, it's something else. My concern here is that we want more and more and more, and it's never enough.
It's not.
He buys you other things, he does so much other stuff for you, but it's still not enough because he doesn't get the flowers. When will it be enough? When will it be enough? When he gets you the flowers, will you then find something else to fixate on that he doesn't do?
Right? That's one thing we always talk, and we don't really talk about. Like they talk about this one thing. This is the one thing he doesn't do. So when he does it become a perfect man to you? Does it become a man that you'll never leave if he does that one thing that he's missing and he's done everything else? Highly unlikely.
Because that is what we do. And I also have a question that I want to ask all of you who are watching. Do you think that this mentality would be as prominent as it is if social media didn't exist? Because I don't think it would.
No. It's entitlement. This is what they see everybody else get. And because they see what everybody else gets, they cherry pick all the good things that all the women in the world get. That's the crazy part. So this woman gets treated like a princess. She gets flowers and all these things. Okay, I want all that. And then this person, they give them tens of thousands of dollars every month to do whatever they want, and all their nails get paid off. Oh, I want that too. So now they're getting all of these little special little things that all these men do specially for their particular women. And they're like, well, if he's doing that for her, I want that. And then if he's doing that for her, I want that too. Now you just built an impossible man that would not be willing to do any of those things or all of those things at once. It's crazy.
I think we are constantly comparing our lives and relationships to strangers that we see online and thinking that, oh, they have that, I deserve that.
I didn't watch this ahead of time. I was just answering her question. We're on the same page.
Oh, her boyfriend bought her a Chanel bag. Well, I want a Chanel bag. I want my boyfriend to buy me a Chanel bag.
Yep. And they don't understand the difference in means. They don't understand how feminine she is. They don't understand what she does for him to be willing to buy her a Chanel bag. Like how rich he is. No, they just see she got a Chanel bag. If she can get a Chanel bag, I can get a Chanel bag. That's all women seem to think about.
Oh, her boyfriend bought her flowers. I want my boyfriend to buy me flowers. Even though he probably does a lot of other wonderful things for you. I will be so transparent here and tell you, I've even found myself, if I spend too much time online, when I am chronically online, I start to play the comparison game. And it's almost like you start to forget all the things that someone does for you because you're looking at so many things that they don't. Comparison is the thief of joy. I have experienced this firsthand. You've got to check yourself and recognize when it's happening to you. Luckily, I'm able to pick up on when it's happening and I snap myself out of that. I get offline, I go hug my husband, and I thank him for the things he does for me. We've got to stop playing the comparison game. You will always be unhappy and unsatisfied and disappointed if you continue to do this. My point is that we need to practice gratitude and appreciation for the things that people do for us. And also consider,
100%.
What are we doing for them? Your boyfriend probably wants you to be doing a lot of things that you're not doing. But you don't see him writing into some lady about it.
Or
be
making a
the
TikTok.
partner you seek. If you're going to talk the talk, you better walk the walk. Now, I also want to share two different perspectives because that's what I do here. The first one being, in the little thing she said he thinks that flowers are a waste of money because they die. And, there's truth in that. They do die. I can totally get that perspective, but she likes them, right? It is a nice gesture to do things that your partner likes and that makes them feel special.
I'm going to counter this a little bit, Courtney. Yes, I do agree with it. But when you're taking care of them and you're doing everything else for them, and this little minute thing they're unhappy about, it makes me want to do it less. This is what upsets men. Like when you want to say shit like this and oh, you do everything, but I really want flowers. You never got me flowers. It does not make a man want to buy you flowers when you are acting that way. That's the problem. If you're like, babe, I love flowers, can you give me some flowers sometimes here and there? I don't think very many men are going to argue too much if she came about it that way. I think it's just most women come at it with with entitlement. So men are just like, what?
If they explicitly say to you, I feel really special when we spend time together before bed and we talk. Or I feel special when you communicate to me what your plans are so that I know what's going on. Or I feel really special when you surprise me with flowers.
See, that's the thing, Courtney. The way you're approaching it, the way you're discussing it, is not how most women are going to approach these subjects. There really isn't. You're somewhat of a unicorn, Courtney. So this is the other part we always got to push back on some of these creators. Not everything's rainbows and sunshines for the men's side.
We're all into different things. The motivation behind it's different as well, and Whether it's realistic or not, it's a different story. But I want to offer a different perspective because I think this is important in relationships as well, that you should keep dating your partner. You should do things that make them feel special.
Agreed.
You should want to make them feel loved and appreciated. And we feel love and appreciation in different ways. Some people feel loved and appreciated when you empty the dishwasher. Some people feel loved and appreciated when you buy them a gift. Some people feel loved and appreciated when you give them a compliment, okay? So I think it's important to acknowledge that and really try to be mindful of it when you're in a relationship. Don't let yourself go. Don't let yourself get complacent. We should continue to...
Don't get fat. Always work on your health and body, people.
Appreciate our partners and show affirmation and show gratitude and make them feel special. I think it's important. Now, I'm sure a lot of you guys like things that your girlfriend or wife doesn't like and probably thinks is a waste of money, but they do it anyway. Or maybe they don't, I don't know. I've told you guys this before, but a lot of times when I go to the store by myself, I'll buy my husband gum. Is that a waste of money? Well, not to me because he likes it.
Well, gum is like $1, maybe $2. Flowers can be very expensive and very elaborate. And then some women want very elaborate things. This is the part, like, I understand the gum part, Courtney, but flowers can literally range from $20, $30 to hundreds of dollars. And depending on what she saw on social media and depending what you got her, she still might not be happy. That's the problem. She saw someone get like a $200 bouquet. You got her a $100 bouquet. She looked at the size difference. She's just like, you don't love me enough.
Is he going to chew it up and spit it out and it's gone? Yeah. Are you going to buy flowers, have them on your counter for a week and they'll die? Yeah.
Yeah.
But they like it. And that makes me feel good that I'm doing something for him that he likes. And I also need to mention that he likes the fancy gum without all the crazy chemicals. So it legitimately costs the same as a bouquet from Trader Joe's before you all come at me.
Whoa. Really? The fancy gum is like $20, $30? I don't know, Courtney. Sounds a little iffy here.
For saying, well, flowers are more expensive than gum. It's just an example.
No. See, again, Courtney, it's the comparison, right? You're saying that gum is worth the bouquet, but that might not be the bouquet that she's looking for. Remember, she might be seeing a $100, $300, I don't even know how many dollars bouquet on Instagram that her friend got for her birthday, that her boyfriend ordered, or some random man, some simp ordered for her. And then she's expecting something very similar to you because that was some random man. If some random man was willing to spend $200-$300 on her, someone that loves her should be spending more than that on her. This is woman logic.
Okay, don't get your panties in a bunch. You can get a stem of flowers at Trader Joe's for $4.99. And that's all it takes to make someone feel special. Okay, so that's one...
Oh, so it's like a $5 flower. Yeah, that ain't gonna fly, girl. Most women aren't gonna be happy with that.
Perspective. A lot of you aren't gonna like that, but I think it's important to share both sides of the equation. But on the other side of the equation, I buy myself flowers almost every week. It is not cringe to buy them for yourself. If you want them that bad, buy it yourself. So again, I see both sides.
This is the for men. Well, women always want to ask what they want to get me for a gift and stuff like that. Anything I've ever wanted, I will get myself. I don't have to wait or ask someone to get for me, or I don't if the things I truly want, I usually end up getting myself. Why? Because I worked hard to be able to get those things. So I fully understand that part.
I think it's important to see both sides. But I think ultimately what it really comes down to is your partner a good partner? Is your husband or boyfriend a good husband? Is your girlfriend or wife a good wife? If they buy you flowers or not does not determine if they are or they aren't.
Is this true?
That's not a determining factor. I'm sorry, I hate to burst bubbles, I hate to crush dreams, but it's not. What actually matters is respect, aligned values and life goals, having empathy, effective communication, showing appreciation for each other, acknowledging the things that you do well in your relationship, giving each other encouragement and support. These are things that make someone a good partner. Now, is someone buying you flowers a nice gesture? Absolutely it is. I think it's so sweet and so nice to make your partner feel special. But it's not a necessity
Nope.
for a healthy relationship.
Nope.
Let's really come back down to earth. It's a bit difficult to have sympathy for someone not getting the flowers they want when there are so many horrific things happening in the world. I think you'll be okay. I think we'll be okay, okay? And what I want you to take away from this video, my point of this whole thing, is that we should really try to spend more time focusing on what we do have rather than what we don't, and what someone does do for us versus what they don't.
This is true. I appreciate what you guys have. I appreciate the people around you. I appreciate the things that you've been able to earn and acquire yourself. You know, like, don't take yourself lightly, especially you men.
And the positives versus the negatives. Because this is how you cultivate happiness. By being grateful, by being thankful, by showing appreciation and gratitude. If you are always looking at...
Damn. That's bars right there. This is how you get happiness, is by appropriating, respectfulness, reciprocation, being kind to others. You don't have to be a doormat, but be kind.
At what you don't have, if you're always focused on the next best thing, if you're always chasing something that you don't have, or you're not acknowledging what you do have, you will never be happy. You will always be dissatisfied. You will always be disappointed, and you will never be happy. Wanting more, never being satisfied, it's not healthy. And again, transparently.
I think this happens to men when we chase money, and we constantly chase money, clout, fame, and we lose focus on what's really important. At least to my opinion, family. When most older people that are really well off are on their deathbed, what do they say? I wish I would have spent more time with my family. I wish I wouldn't have worked so hard. I wish I, didn't do some of the things I did. Balance, guys, balance.
Here, I've even fallen into this too. It's very easy to do. It's always, what's next? I want more. This isn't enough. What's the next thing? You have got to start appreciating what you have. And in your relationships, really acknowledging what your partner actually does for you. Because if you write it down, or you really sit down to think about it, it's probably far more than you realize. And if it's not, well, then maybe that's an issue. But whether or not they buy you flowers should not be the determining factor. I'm going to stop it here before I continue to ramble. That's all I have for this video. If you liked it or found it helpful.
No, shout outs to Corny. This was a good conversation. I actually liked that video. It was very good. Good chow. Good chow. Again, I'm not a fan of women in our spaces, but it's so necessary. Women like Courtney, women like Riva TV, a couple other ones that I follow and feature on my channel. We're not saying that we want them here in a sense, but they're necessary. They need to speak to the other half of gender and the other side of men that we can't reach. Why? Because we're a little bit too harsh. We're a little bit too straightforward. She's a little nicer. Women are a little bit nicer. They just speak differently. People absorb things differently. It's how world works. Please subscribe down below. I really appreciate that. And I'll catch you guys next time. Ciao.